Hi, welcome back to Commander Speedy's channel. In this recording I'm going to show you more about something that is cropped up in the alpha channel. Basically, people have been talking about the stealth mode. Now, I know I've done a video before on it, but I've really got to the grips with understanding what's going on now. Basically, it's an interesting feature which I've ignored a little bit. I've been one of these types that have gone and got the ship with the gimbal mounted laser and just going in and blasting everything in sight. However, now I'm beginning to understand the techniques for the stealth mode. There's also a lovely play in the ethics and credits scenario in which people are flying around unhindered and unseen and then coming out of the woodworks and shooting people for the bounties like they're expected to. And having played that yesterday myself and last night, I had an amazing game in which I flew around the environment, collected a canister, deposited it for some money with one of the anacondas, flew to an asteroid, hung around, cooled myself right down, and then I watched out and caught a clip of two guys fighting. So inevitably I flew towards them, waited until one killed the other. I flew towards the guy that won, who very strangely turned and floated towards me in front and sat, and just seemed to appear to look at me. Now I have my weapons out, but I played dead, and as he began scanning I just gave him everything that I had in my cannons and blasted him to smithereens. Now the one thing with the stealth mode is you fly around with no shield, so there's a downside and a positive side to all of what appears to be elite at the moment. So I'm here just to show you my findings and understandings now. So I'm going to resume back into the first single player scenario. Now I've also got the voice attack module enabled, and I've now assigned a button to enable and disable when I'm talking, so that helps with the recording. But as you'll see on the screen, let's get ourselves warm. In the middle of our radar there, to the left of it, there's a 39%, and that's how warm the ship is at the moment. And if you do nothing, absolutely nothing, with all the settings on as is, you will find that the temperature will steadily drop and hover around that 37-38%, which is good. Now on the right hand side of the screen as you're looking to it now, there is signature, and people have asked me what signature, and I've been going, oh, I don't really know. Well, it's all to do with your projected heat and also those around you. So the idea is if you want to go stealth mode, you need to get that signature down. Now if I press my stealth running mode, which in my keyboard Z, if you look at the top right there's info. If I press it now, oh sorry, I've been stupid, that's not the stealth mode, that's my scoop. Control is my stealth mode. So here we go, we're rigged now for silent running. So that means, as you can imagine, our noise impact is low, and as you see on the right hand side there's our signature is now changed. So if I turn off and on between the two, you see there's quite a high signature and a low signature. But also that works with your heat that you're emitting from your system currently, which is a 62, 63 that's creeping up right now, and when you're on silent mode that very quickly heats up, as you can see. Oops. I'll turn the thing off and quite quickly it cools down again, which is absolutely perfect. Now there are ships fitted with heat dumps. So the idea is you can run in silent running, and then you can dump heat with these mechanisms to bring down the cool, and so people can't see you on the radar. Apparently when you look on the radar, the radar does show somebody there, but flips in between the player, an NPC, or nothing. So it's very confusing for people. It looks like a bug. Now as you'll see, the 82-83% is creeping up. Now if I start moving around, that will increase even quicker, because as you move around you're expending more energy. And if I start firing my lasers, which, oh, this is the cannons will heat up as well. So the idea is when that percentage gets up to the 170, 180%, well, you can already see now we're just starting to smoke. But when you get too high, there's an awful lot of smoke, and then the ship will actually blow up. So one thing that we can combat that, now turning on my voice attack, left, right, is to look at the right panel, and we can go into modules, and we can turn off things, and I think I've shown this already. So I'm going to turn off my drives, I'm going to turn off my shield generation, I'm going to turn off my cargo hatch, leave life support machine on, and I'm actually going to turn off my cannons, so they should disappear. Look at the front, and the percentage of heat, and as you can see in this zoomed radar version, is now dropping. So in a nutshell, you've got to fly around with your shields, and most of you think your system's turned off. So you think, okay, well that's quite dodgy in space. But if people are not really being able to see you on the radar, it's not an issue. And as long as you're not an outlaw, it's not usually an issue. People are unlikely to attack you, certainly in the ethics and credits scenario, in fear of becoming having a bounty placed on the head and everybody else coming out of the woodwork to shoot them down. So it's quite a nice mode to have. So in a nutshell, that is what this stealth mode's all about. So it's balancing between what systems to run and versus how hot you want to be your ship and how you want to be seen. Now I'm going to press my heat dispenser. Now this is the scenario that doesn't actually have it fitted. So one other option to bring down the speed even quicker is to come out of the silent mode, and as you'll see, because all the systems are turned off, we rapidly decrease the temperature, which is lovely. So in the multiplayer game, that's what I've been doing. I've been flying around invisible, coming out for an air battle to try and take advantage of somebody not expecting me locking on and shooting them out the space, then returning to some asteroid somewhere, turning all my systems off, and then actually dropping out silent running for a temporary to bring down the temperature. So you'll see now I've gone back to rig for silent running. The percentage is nice and low, and of course my engines were turned off, so I'm turning on my voice attack again. Right. So let's go and turn on my drives. Front. And here we go, we've got our capability back, and you'll see very quickly, as soon as you start flying rapidly around, the heat will go up. But notice that the signature isn't as wild as when it is when you're off silent. There's off silent running and then on, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that balance between the cold and the signature itself. I take it that is the signature that you in the ship are producing. So I think it's time for me to go to a multiplayer and actually see how this works. Now again, the types of ship is very important. As you can see here, there's a heat sink ejector, but also the cannons are generally a colder weapon than lasers. So I'm going to go with that. You'll notice my credits are quite high at the moment because I've had some good kills. In fact, looking at the stats, my stats have rolled off a little bit again. For some reason they've all gone just a little bit strange. I've certainly earned more credits than that. I've had more human kills than that. So I'm not quite sure why the stats are not showing right, but I'm not worried. Let's go to ethics and credits. Let's launch in. So as soon as I enter this, the first thing I want to do really is go and find some quiet spot in space, preferably by an asteroid, and just go and hide away. Now, as I said just earlier on, that yesterday when I played, I stayed in stealth mode because you can go and pick up the canisters. Now the idea is when you pick up a canister, if you get scanned and you've got a canister on you, the canister is illegal because that's been taken from one of the mining ships, and the canister will be marked up as stolen. So you've effectively holding or handling stolen goods. So a bounty will be placed on you when you've been scanned in that situation. But running nice and cold and quietly, it's very easy to go and pick up a canister without anybody really noticing you there. But you are taking a risk with the shields obviously down. Stop. So here we go. I'm going to right. Now now you're going to see that my percentages is quite low at the moment. I now rigged into silent, as I've stated before. My shields are completely off, so I am very open to attack. Now the one thing is worth doing is worth having your primary weapons out. If you've got no shields, why not have the weapons on? Now if I look at the right hand side panel again, you'll notice that actually in generating 65%, that's not too bad. The weapons themselves, if I take them offline again, so 4%, 3 or 4% for turning them off. That's 6%. It really isn't worth turning them off, especially as you've lost or you've taken off your shields. Let's have a little creep around very quietly and carefully. Now, every time you touch the keyboard or move, your temperature will be going up. Now, flight assisted mode, which I've just turned off, helps in this regard because obviously you will accelerate and stay at that speed as you're flying through space, so that's very, very useful just to drift. As you know, I've got a temperature dump ability on this ship, so I can do that now, and you'll notice that rapidly I've got no power. Now that was a bit of a waste for a coolant purge, but at least you can now see what I've done. Stop. So I'll put flight assist mode back on. Let's just have a poke around to see what's around in space at the moment. So one useful thing to do here is just to scan around if any of the ships are in your radar. No, there's nothing really there at the moment. The idea is to scan around in space and see if there's anybody out there that's got a bounty placed on their head. And it is a sitting and waiting game, this one. So I'm a little bit out. Now on the radar, if you look, there's this white square. That usually is the canister. Again, I'm colourblind, so it's very difficult for me to tell. But usually that does imply a canister. So I'm going to go and creep and try and collect that and then deliver it. Stop. Now there is a ship coming around and there's a bounty on their head. Front. So we can creep now because there is a bounty on the head. We want to get there quite quickly. Oh! So we're going to rig for full power just to bring that. We're going to dump my power down. We're going to go into silent mode. Here we go. So we're going to have one more check as we're coming in onto this ship. Yep, there's a 350 bounty. And we're going to come in nice and quietly. And without them really suspecting, we should be able to take the ship out without them realising what's going on. Stop. And as you'll see, they start fighting and shooting, not really know who's shooting them or where it's coming from. And there's a nice way to collect a bounty. So as you can tell, they had no idea where that came from. Now, one important thing is to get away from wherever you've just taken the ship out from, especially if you've been running silently and you have no shields on. Although you've now still done nothing wrong because you're a bounty hunter, it's still well worth getting away and making sure that you're safe for now. I have noticed a lot of people not appreciating those that are running cold and silent. So let's just try and do one more thing before I stop this recording. Stop. Stop. Let's just bring our so I'm rigged for full power, because I was running silently as much as I could. So let's try and go and get a canister. Front. So here we go. There's one very close by. Scoop. And as you can tell, the voice recognition on my machine is not as quick as I'd like, but it's certainly much better than I had in the previous video. Most of that is tweaking the settings, not running so much on my machine, making sure there's no backup, but also disabling some of the noise suppression on the actual microphone, for which I'm also talking into. Oh, stop, stop. And it's not the easiest thing to pick up, and there is discussion that from Elite that they are going to potentially change the way this works anyway. They're not so keen on this scoop. And I think I just destroyed it rather than collect it, which is annoying. Stop. Yeah. Let's go scanning. Stop. Again, I'm going to finish this, so let's go and get a bounty on my head. So I'm actually going to get rid of some more of my heat. Right. Actually going to turn off my shields. Front. I'm actually going to... Oh, look, there's another fight going on. So I'm going to kill myself. I'm actually going to... Oh, I'm actually going to use a sneaking tactic on somebody here anyway. So we're rigged for silence. And they're doing the same trick, I think. They've gone nice and quiet. Well, they're hiding behind. So amongst these asteroids. Something big's going on here. Aha, so Bryant is unaware that we're here. Stop. Stop. Actually, it looks like a bug. Certainly not dying. Now who's that lurking? And here you can hear the nice sound that this game has in space. Stop. I'm trying to bring my temperature down as quickly as I can. So I'm still in. I've just come out of silent mode. Now I'm sat here, quite dangerous, but I haven't done anything illegal. So there's no real reason why anybody should attack me. So I'm keeping an eye on the radar. I've got no more ability to dump heat. So I'm going to go into silent running again. Let's have a stick our head out. Now I could be rather naughty now, I'm not sure. I'm sure that Crazy Roy can see me at the moment. And given I'm only recording this and I've got to stop, I'm probably just going to try and take him out. Now it's really bad, and that's what people get really annoyed about. Now there'll be a bounty placed on my head now. So I'm sorry about Crazy Roy, but wrong place, wrong time. Nobody's dying, it's very odd. Right. Forward, front. Front. Come out of stealth mode. Oh, and he's disappeared. And now I should actually have... Yeah, I'm now wanted. So I'm sure people will come to collect their bounty on me in a second. But it was fun while we were doing it. Stop. So this game is just full of greatness, in my opinion. There's lots of fun ways of playing this game. I think someone else was mentioning about the fact that you can creep up behind an anaconda and they won't actually fight you because they don't know where you are. Stop. Just sit here. God knows who that was flying above my head, but I don't actually feel very safe right now. I'm sure someone's going to take my bounty in a minute. But as you'll see, the anaconda won't fight back because they just generally can't see where you are. Sub. And there you go, someone else is taking me on. Max forward. And that's certainly one way to commit harry-carry. But you get the impression of how the stealth works. It certainly is an entertaining way of playing. Anyway, it's Commander Speedy signing off.